adopting Bitcoin.
Phantom adopting a Bitcoin, one of the best wallets user experience wise that I have messed with and I have heard a lot of positive opinions, is adding Bitcoin ordinal support. We're gonna get all the Sol degens when they make their Sol bags. I don't know if Ethereum has people on it still, but they also have Ethereum support. We'll be able to swap those two, maybe for Bitcoin, you said?
Yeah, you should. Like all of those swaps, you should be able to eventually go from, Bitcoin to Sol, like Bitcoin to USDC. Like
that's good because that should be a default.
Oh, it should be. Like this is what I've been asking for, and obviously, like I'm hoping, like Omnisat, also sort of fixes is like I don't want to have to take my, my Bitcoin, my Sol, and have to send it back to an exchange, a centralized exchange, make that swap, then send it back, right? And currently, that's sort of like the problem. If you're in Bitcoin, the only way to really go to like a stable coin is to send it to a centralized exchange.
So like send it to a site.
You know what I mean? And there's some other stuff, but it's like
stable coins on Bitcoin.
Exactly. And that's
will that come?
No comment.
No comment
on that.
Okay.
But what I will say is I like Phantom Wallet is all my like normal friends got super into Solana and not ETH. And I feel like everyone talks about MetaMask all the time. But when you talk to ETH users, like most people are not using MetaMask anymore. And they might have like the brand space where everyone knows their name, but ultimately in futures, they've fallen behind. And so like everything, I think competition in this space is good. It means better products for us. And the more cross-chain compatible wallets are, the better all of this is.
Wait, what wallet do ETH people use now? That's not MetaMask.
I mean, whatever one's giving you points these days, right?
I guess Rainbow, right? Rainbow, MetaMask, and stuff like that. But like, can MetaMask even ever come over? Right, because they're funded by, or it's consensus that's behind it, right? Which is ETH.
So
or EVM.
Consensus is also like an American-based company, right? So when everyone lost access to that lived in countries, I was like, okay, you have to change your RPC URL and like use something decentralized to connect to the blockchain, right? Like MetaMask is a great envelope, but I don't know. I think there's other options. There's better options that are more decentralized, but it depends on where in the world you are. And I think that's actually something that coming into Bitcoin ordinals, right? Like all of these wallets are making new features at different times. Like BRC20s came after inscriptions and people are first or second. So in ETH, you can take your seed phrase and put it into any wallet, which don't start putting your seed phrase everywhere. But like ultimately all your stuff would show up, where all of the ordinal wallets are not compatible with each other. So maybe we'll get to a place where that is, but
it would be cool. I mean, it would be cool.
Speaking of, Solana shitcoins.
You've been hitting those, huh? I know.
I recently got into it. So I'm gonna try. Look, I literally got my heroin needle straight into my fucking veins through Sol Maps.
Give me some of that, man. Give me some of that.
So the alpha, but like if I get a bag from Sol Maps, that's my intro into the Solana ecosystem. I'm not gonna fade one of the main three narratives.
I mean, listen,
three narratives of the cycle: Bitcoin ordinals, Solana, and AI.
Okay.
So if I could take part in the second in Solana and make a bunch of bags there and then just convert it back to Bitcoin, that's a dub for me. But my question is, so now we're getting like Phantom support. People are making a bag on Solana. Like that is a given. Just look on Twitter. People love flexing their bags. Now with
everything on the internet is definitely real.
I mean, okay. To be fair, a lot of it, like when it comes to like people talking about their profits, like, you can just check the chain. Right. But they have the money. Now Phantom's adding ordinal support.
Damn.
Will all the shitcoiners be parking their profits into the daddy chain?
I think so. Like, listen, it wasn't like this past week, but like previous to that, while we were at Bitcoin, or what was it, Art Basel, a lot of people texted me and they're like, "Hey, I just made a fuck ton of money on all these airdrops on Solana. Like, I want to put it into ordinals. Like, it was like 6 figures worth. Like, you know what I mean? So like, people are wanting to, and I think you saw that though this past week. Like, dude, fucking Bitcoin frogs. Like, liquidity's coming from somewhere. Right? Like it's coming from airdrops. It's coming from a lot of different ecosystems. It's probably coming from the Chinese. I don't know.
Thing. I'm not going to sell my frog. Like,
okay.
It's no profits when you love it.
Yeah.
But I need to.
Why do you love it though? Let me ask you this: like, why do you love it? Is it the art? Is it the community? Like, talk to me, because there's a lot of people that are controversial about it. They're like, I don't want to ribbit. I'm 40 years old.
Ribbit.
Yeah, I'll ribbit. I don't know. I feel like frogs have become such like. You had the cryptodes and you just vibed. Now we get to ribbit. Frogs are just always a good time. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're lucky. I feel like they have their spot and you just can't fade the frogs.
Yeah. I mean, I think what they're showcasing is honestly community. Like they've built, I think, a serious community, and say what you will about the frogs, like they have a solid community
No,
that's been organic.
It was
like,
the
since
I know, my
only
point in holding my frog.
community space when I first started getting
Yeah.
into Ordinals, and all my ETH friends were like, "What the fuck?" And everyone else that I knew in Ordinals was just like building, and so many people came into Ordinals through that space. Like we did a ton of onboarding even before I was there. Like all of those people were some of the first people that like helped me out when I first jumped in like the Ordicord, like early days, asking
frogs?
questions. Yeah.
That's cool.
And so I feel like when you really, help facilitate culture and bring people responsibly into the space, like that is proper impact.
Totally. I mean, like looking at some of the other options as well of wallets in the ecosystem, we got Xverse.
So we do a wallet history breakdown.
Yeah, I think we should,
Quick
man. I think we
history
really should.
lesson. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to
We're
Ordinals
hopping all
Wallet
over the
History
place.
with Butoshi,
frogs.
with my special guest,
King
BitGod
Boo.
and Jen. So look, way back when Ordinals first came out in February, the very first wallet to ever come out. It's actually the Bitcoin Core wallet, which is the Ordinals wallet, which is how you interacted and inscribed in the first place. But the one that was more generally available to degen traders like me and the public were Google Spreadsheets. If you bought into fucking Ordinals when it first came out, like the first week of Ordinals, number one, you didn't have to pay in Bitcoin. You could have just filled out Google Forms.
That was kind of an order book, not a wallet.
I mean, it was, but like
This is how you interacted.
people made money off
Yeah.
off the
I mean,
spreadsheet.
call me old fashioned, but like I kind of miss those days, man.
I don't miss
let's run
those
that
days.
back.
You
Man. Let's
understand
run that
how
back.
stressful? Look, bro, I'm literally here. For some reason, this fucking picture I inscribed is going for like 4 or 5 ETH off a rip, and none of these fuckers are too lazy to set
I don't
up
know,
like
man.
a
I
wallet
think-
or a
I know-
Sparrow thing, and they're asking me, "Can you hold my asset? Can you hold my very expensive asset and constantly move it around with this thing
I
you're
have
not
a
familiar
project
with?"
idea.
I know that like we want to get back
stressful,
into
bro. It's
to the wallet side of things, but like I think it would actually be cool to like run that back for like a mint.
That's
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like just for a day.
literally
Let's go back to the
Little one
spreadsheet
time.
days.
But
Yeah.
also, now that we have like recursive inscriptions, we can build a spreadsheet experience on chain.
Yeah.
And not me, I'm not smart enough to do this, but someone can figure it out, right? Where it's a part of the minting process, but also on chain.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanna straight up inscribe my spreadsheet
Someone-
from like the good old days.
Let's do it, bro.
Because it shows
Front
volume
of
that
us.
like Magic Eden won't see.
Yeah, ordinal
It's like
spreadsheets,
crazy.
another collection. But go
anyways,
ahead, ordinal
second
wallet.
wallet. Ordinal spreadsheets. And then we had Xverse come over. So Xverse, Unisat, and Hero/Leather, that's what they're
Yep.
called now, kind of all came at the same time. A couple of months after, and boom, that's when we basically had the experience of your typical download a wallet, get Bitcoin, go to a marketplace, connect wallet, and now you can trade Ordinals.
Yeah.
So
I
that
mean-
was a very quick time frame.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like back in March when I saw like Magic Eden launch, the first thing I did was like check out what wallets were available. Xverse was recommended at that time on Magic Eden, and like I was like, oh, this is honestly actually is very similar to Phantom. Like the layout was actually very similar to Phantom, more so than of course
Super
MetaMask.
familiar with MetaMask as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So I mean, I
is
don't know.
very
Like that
similar.
was Xverse was the one I've used and basically used since then as well, and especially more recently with their rare sats sort of integration. As I've been like trying to collect way too many of those, is like that's really fun, and all the other wallets don't have that yet. So I mean, like just looking
Should
at
we
like
go through like the pros and cons? Of why
yeah,
you'd use
yeah,
each
just a
wallet?
little bit
Okay.
like what
Just
things
a-
do.
It also was so changing in those early days, right? Where like I remember for certain BRC20 things, it was like, okay, you can only use Unisat.
Yeah.
And then, okay, Xverse just added this, right? So I feel like we're gonna have a little bit more of this as more and more tools are developed. So just whatever we say pro and con today, if you're watching this later, might not be accurate anymore.
Absolutely,
That is very
yeah.
true. That
and
is
many of these
extremely
companies
true.
have raised a bunch of money, so
They
I hope
have,
that they're of course
especially
going to invest
Xverse.
heavily in that. Yeah.
So, okay. So I guess the main wallet I would actually recommend a majority of new people getting onboarded is actually Xverse because number one, they have a mobile app. They basically have all the main features. You could trade your JPEGs, you could trade BRC20s, but most importantly, and Jen, you're gonna love this, is that they have Ledger integration. Well, Ledger doesn't have a good rep, but it's still a hardware wallet, and you can still protect your ordinals by connecting Xverse and Ledger together. The other wallet that could do Ledger support is Sparrow. That one's more technically complex, so we'll get to that at the end. And then you have Unisat, which is basically a BRC20 mostly focused wallet. I still use it because I like having one address and I trade BRC20s all the time. And I don't know. I haven't tried Xverse BRC20s. Have you? But
I have, yeah, I've used it a bunch. And
But like I'm
and
just so
saw it.
used to like Unisat. Like
I've
Unisat's
only used
made
Unisat
for it.
for BRC20s and
Yeah.
only Xverse for Ordinals.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. And then
It's-
you have Leather.
I don't use
Yeah,
leather.
sorry, I just never used it.
I've never used leather, but it
Feel bad,
is
man.
I
a
don't even
main
have
option.
a tutorial for leather. I have them for the rest of them, not for leather.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
but leather is
Ouch.
a sponsor for events, so definitely check them out. I don't want to disrespect
So
them.
y'all can pay me for a tutorial.
Yeah, try
And
out all
then
these
you
wallets
have,
though. Like,
you have Ordinals Wallet, which is like Ordinal Wallets Marketplace wallet, but it's like on the browser. Like I don't really like that because it's on the browser.
yeah, it feels more custodial, but then it really, it really is.
And
And
then
like
you-
they're more focused on like, I think Ordinals now, and I just
true.
I've seen
They
less
are
and
cool.
less
They
of
are
them.
cool for that.
Yeah.
So they have like Doge support. And then you got Phantom coming, so we'll see how that experience goes.
Yep.
I'm excited for that. And then finally, for like I think this is more of like builder's wallet and more OG wallet. Sparrow is actually a fantastic wallet, especially when it comes to like managing your rare sats, splitting your UTXOs so you could play with your sats specifically and do like crazy things.
Also giving you more control over your transactions
Yeah.
and like speed and understanding the process, which obviously is not completely user friendly, but I think even in like the ETH world, we all know how to, fix a transaction that's stuck or taking too long. And Sparrow is really the only place you have that control in this ecosystem.
Actually, Xverse did add RBF recently, but it took like 10 months, and Sparrow has always had it by default because it's just Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the craziest things to me is that Sparrow wallet hates Bitcoin ordinals. Like I had a problem. Dude, I had this problem with like my Mint, and it was like,
This is a good story, man.
like my Sparrow wallet wasn't capturing my transactions because let's say that they're like up here, or usually it'll read like transactions in like chunks. And then if there's like a fat gap, it'll like stop reading transactions and be like, okay, there's like no more like UTXOs in this wallet. But because of like ordinals and how I'm inscribing, I actually had my UTXOs like way down here. So I would read this gap, skip that gap and be like, you got no more things. So to me, it looked like my fucking ordinals all disappeared. And I'm like, no, like, where are my things? And I'm like going through it. I literally
You think they did it on purpose?
No. It was just like, it's just part of like how it worked. So I'm like, damn, I'm like struggling. I'm stressing. I'm like, I need to inscribe before like the memo gets fat again. I made my own AI bot that was a Bitcoin expert. So like helped me walk through the process so I could like break it down, figured out the solution. And I just needed to figure out, super simple question, how to unlock it in Sparrow. So I went to the Sparrow Telegram and I asked my question in chat. I didn't mention ordinals because I know they hate ordinals, right? So I asked my question in chat, how do I increase the gap limit? One of the admins explained how to increase the gap limit. I did it. It worked. I got my ordinals back. And then this fucker messages me. He's like, oh, why did you have that question? So I said, oh, well, I actually was inscribing on ordinals. And then this bitch gets a fucking pin. And it was like, he was basically yelling at me saying, we don't support ordinal questions. We're not going to help you if you have an ordinal related question.
Man.
I'm like, you already helped me. I already got my solution. And you asked me why I had that question. I'm just presenting it to you. And then they kicked me from Telegram.
Oh man, that's rough.
They absolutely hate it, but Sparrow is still one of the best wallets for like ordinal. Like
You're
UTXO
literally
control.
like, you're the reason that honestly, like there's bloat on the chain. Like you know what I mean? Like you and your damn booze, man. Like
How can you be a chain maximalist but not want it to be used? This is like the point where Bitcoin maxis do not make any sense. Or when they're like fiat is going to zero, all fiat currencies are going to be zero, Bitcoin's going to be worth $1 zillion. Well, if dollars are zero,
does
then
that
a zillion
happen?
zeros is zero.
Yeah.
So we gotta
0 times
find
0 is 0.
anything times zero.
Dude, I don't even know if it's that they're Bitcoin. Actually, okay, it's a mixture. Because I joined back to like talk more shit because I was like, there's no way you just ban me. So I was like, will you actually help me with my problem? And then like we're just like talking about ordinals, or like I was just like saying more things in ordinals, and he was like, well, I'm like disappointed in you, but like whatever. And I'm like, okay.
disappointed.
That's
Pointed at
honestly
you,
like
bro.
the
Come
meanest
on.
thing that they could say. But at the same
all right,
time,
I'm deleting your wallet right now. Like,
I'm
I mean,
on
come
board
on.
all of them. Like that is the thing. It's like turn haters into the biggest fucking like facilitators of the message and just evangelists of ordinals.
They're
And
all
so,
gonna capitulate though.
They
Like
are
we all
gonna
know that.
capitulate.
Like I
Yeah.
posted something on my Twitter today.
Luke already capitulated his
gosh,
fucking
man.
mining pools today.
Biggest jokes of Bitcoin right now,
Dude,
honestly.
that's hilarious because like he's still at it. He's like, okay, look, we still have like our 3 million pools. We still have like the filters, like the clean, like the true Bitcoin.
They
way
still only
pool.
found 2 blocks. It's a joke, bro. Come on.
They have like the second one, which is like this one like has like a little bit of spam in it, but it's kind of like a mix. And he was like, and if you want to go in the third pool, like you
Oh my
have
gosh.
the pool that has all of the Bitcoin spam in it. If you really want to mine that. So they basically capitulated and
Pull
admitted
these
that they're
nuts,
not gonna
man.
make
Pull
money.
these nuts. I mean, seriously. Like
And
that
just
guy.
like said that they're adding the pools.
He
so
loves
it's
eating
hilarious.
cats too, man. I don't know. I don't like that guy.
It's
at all.
actually crazy that he likes eating cats. Like it makes me. I have 2 cats as a cat dad. That's
Bitcoin
extremely,
maxis
like,
are
offensive to me.
D cells
Wait,
and
Did you know
weirdos.
that?
What?
Yeah.
So
did you
what?
see that?
Woody was explaining on his space that Luke, like one of the Bitcoin maxis, like eats cats, and
Yeah,
it
this
wasn't
guy Luke
confirmed that he
Maxey
actually
from-
eats cats.
Okay,
Yeah.
look, I don't want to like shame anyone and judge anyone from whatever their traditions are, but
Damn, I mean,
I have a dog named Kitty. I can never eat a cat. I love cats. I love dogs. I love pets. But in some parts of the world, they think that cats are literally rats. So
You want to know why people are saying he eats cats? So I guess like a couple of years ago, he like made this Twitter post saying that like he was gonna eat a cat, but like something ate the cat before him. And then
what
like
eats cats?
I don't know. But then like a
Raccoons?
probably
couple,
raccoon, coyote.
like a coyote.
like-
I don't know.
Coyotes do eat cats. I
Yeah,
actually know this
yeah, yeah,
from experience, and that is a story for another day.
I know, yeah. We won't talk about that, but
I
yeah.
lived
So then a
with
couple of
18
years
cats
later, like
once.
someone brings up that tweet and was like, "So would you still eat a cat?" And his response was basically, "Well, like why wouldn't I eat a cat?
Oh man,
Like
come
there's
on,
still
man.
meat."
So on
All the
Ordinals,
Bitcoin maxis, like honestly, just think that guy's a joke as well. Like there's like he's on his own sort of island.
You
even
realize
like,
how they keep going? All of these people think. All of these people
know.
think that. Think for yourself. Welcome to Ordinals.
Be a
Just do
free
you.
thinker.
just
Yeah.
spam the chain yourself.